Believe it or not, I anticipate a lot of my viewers will may as well wear a pink thong that says they're a bitch on it, pretending that I'm wrong. You know, it's like Bill Gates standing next to some football lineman, and you say, hey, I don't understand that football lineman could beat the shit out of him. And so it was with my martial art challenge before they reduced my form. Why do you think they reduced my form and made me skinny and lose weight and lose muscle mass and messed up my eyes so I had to wear glasses so I look like a beta geek or something? Because it was apparent, alpha parent, comparison, compare I sun. Okay, compare I sun versus compare I sin. Sin is an Akkadian moon deity. It is them focusing on the bitch, the feminine suffix, fixation. To fix the fixation that these people are fixated on worldly bitch, you have to fix the Asian. And when you kill the alpha line, the natural alpha line, you've made it so no one can ever fix the Asian. So everyone will be fixated on bitch who's allowed to live, and they'll kill themselves almost always over bitch and not the realization that humanity's lost and they'll never have the true spirit of God. So you see the sun, the rising sun on the Biafran flag, is surrounded by red and green and black. Red is the principles of evil, green is the color of fertility, black is the darkness. People don't want you to see the truth. Orange is kind of in between red and yellow, okay? The rising sun of Biafra, right? Even Igbos themselves respond in a dark way in an evil way to the rise of the sun, right? This is not a racial thing. I'm biracial. This is not a tribal thing. And it's only a tribal thing in this one cult center. In that cult center village, there's this one family, and in that family, there's this one line. Not all the members say, we obey you, okay? From what I gather. I wasn't there every step of the way, but I'm certainly here now, and I see that they do not obey me, okay? And as a result, I'm the last one loyal to God. My parents are blameless, and whatever they're doing, they're allowing the white man to rip them off. From what I gather, right, and to put a carrot on the stick in the Masonic fashion, okay. And this is where we are. And they even have me sound, in the Mason, like I'm a homosexual. I'm not gay. I'm not gay. I'm not a beta. I'm not an effract. I'm a very serious guy. And they try to make me so I have a lisp, right? They induce lisps and stuff like this, and it's despicable. Try to make me have effeminate mannerisms. Now, all of you listen very carefully. They who try to make me seem like anything less than the top martial artist, they lose masculinity more. They sink every day that they sabotage me. They sink when they try to make me look gay and sound gay. Oh, sound like the lisp person. They lose when they do that. They're more bitches. When you insist that someone who's far more of a man than you look like a bitch, and you come together to make them look like, let's play dress up doll like a Mason, like a homosexual in the Greek play when they used to play women. Oh, let's make him look like the woman. Right? You become more of a woman. If I grabbed a little kid and dressed him up like a little girl, that's some bitch shit. So they went from being bitch to more of a bitch than a bitch by what they're doing. Understand that. Know that. Okay. Book 6. Imhotep worship is betrayal to God and darkness. Only one hair. Okay? Hair, right? The hair moves from side to side, right? Haru, hair, right? This is lateral movements. Light, Ra, El. Okay? It is the natural light of God. The swing. This guy swings like this. I move back like this, right? I move back like this, right? There's certain lateral movements. Skywalk, boom, boom, boom. It's kind of like basketball movements, but it's smaller steps, faster, rapid. Boom, boom. And I have you where I want you. Boom, boom. I have you where I want you. See, this is the idea, super fast. Okay, before they reduce my form. Okay. So only one air. A is even the first letter. It's pointed up. One. Alpha in Greek. Alpha. All foe. Because people for the longest refuse to obey them because they think with their dicks and they're craftsmen. Read Acts 19. Demetrius, the silversmith, and the craftsmen. They were mad because their deities were made by human hands. And the argument of Christians in the story, and it's the true argument, is that gods that are made by craftsmen, that are made by human hands, aren't gods at all. Okay, God is a supernatural idea, not an idea a craftsman makes so craftsmen look good for their guild, right? Guile, cunning, trickery, guild. Incidentally, there's a character in Street Fighter 2, very popular video game growing up, called Guile, okay? And of course, he's an American soldier, and you can draw all kinds of parallels. He has a mohawk. He makes it seem like, just like at UFC, a lot of these guys have mohawks, and they dress up weird and gay and so on and so forth. They make it seem like it's a gay energy that martial arts is. It makes it seem like it's like this extreme white guy sport. And of course, I'm part white. I'm not racist, but it has to be said. Moving on. All right. Only one heir, light temple martial warrior. Not because he is breeding in the wrong direction. Okay? He has to breathe in the right direction. And after I'm gone, everyone's breathing in the wrong direction, no matter what. The Pharaoh was right to reserve the throne for himself and not Joseph in Genesis 41, in that part of the Bible. for the most part. The evidence suggests that Narmer died before he could finish what he started. And he's the first pharaoh of Egypt who united the land over the followers of Set. Now, they could change the story in the future. It doesn't change the idea. Someone was trying to do something like that, and that idea is most embodied in my bloodline. So even if Narmer wasn't related to me, okay, it would just be because the leopard roams in sub-Saharan Africa, right, the heart of Africa. These guys migrate up through Nekhen, which is in southern Egypt, right, and through there they unite the land. That's the city of Hawks, this ancient city that civilized the rest of Egypt and then the rest of the world. The rest of the world were like non-believers, trade route, primitive guys that were trading with these guys. It was these African guys that migrated through into the Middle East that founded Babylon and Sumer. Even in the Bible, Cush begot Nimrod, and Nimrod founded Babylon. And the Cushites, the Ethiopians, we can go on and on. Right? And of course, it's Ham, and he has children, and Cush and Mizraim, right? Egypt are his children. So the black guys are the Egyptians, they're the Nubians, they're the Cushites, the Ethiopians, so on and so forth. And the Igbos and so on and so forth. And the Igbos are the king line in the heart, for the reason I described in the last video, where the enemies of Egypt are surrounding them almost completely. Then there's just one avenue to retreat, and that is toward the fatherland, right? The heart where the leopard comes from, the leopard societies, and then the hawk, the son of leopard, when he mixes with a white woman, a Semite, there's different possibilities, but it's this kind of African line. It takes instead of this kind of very African-like body, it starts to, like my body, it starts to take on European kind of features, and this allows for the skywalking. This allows me to outmaneuver the bigger guy, but it's also the accompanying moral code and who transcended and who didn't, right? The body and your life form, your life force is an expression of God. It's an expression of mind, body, soul, and spirit. It's an expression of wisdom, okay? The wise man takes the warrior path, not the scientist path. He takes the warrior path, okay? Especially at this point, when all scientists work for the New World Order. None of them obey me, so it's not a wise path. We can go on and on and on. All right, moving on. All right, the evidence suggests that Narmer died before he could finish what he started, and the lack of the authentic continuity of his martial arts order has allowed the devil to lead the world astray. Another way to look at it is man's rejection of the group of Igbos who ended up as followers of Eri, right? Eri, Ra. There's a lot of wordplay here, right? Even with the Igbos, right? The G is silent. The Igbos, right? It makes it seem like the E, the archer is the E. Hey guys, I'm an archer. I shoot arrows. I'm an elf, right? It's stupid, okay? It's really Abba. The man Igbo, Alpha, Ba. Anyone who's met the Igbos and they study their culture and they see how the colonists screened out the warriors, the Ekumeku martial arts society and the leopard societies, how they were killed here, they were killed in the Caribbean, Jamaica and so on and so forth. They were killed in Brazil, they were killed in America, South Carolina, Georgia, and so on and so forth. So what then happened, right, in the Igbo landing, these guys had the heart to drown themselves instead of submit to slavery. These guys were warriors that fought to the death. This is where the samurai get the idea. This is an African idea first and foremost. All right, so who ended up as the followers of Eri. Okay, this is where I was at. Another way to look at it is man's rejection of the group of Igbos who ended up as the followers of Eri and Chuku led to the collapse of the divine order. Even if Narmer wasn't legitimate, the idea is correct. If Narmer is not related to Igbos, so to speak, it would mean the only reason why the Egyptians and the Nubians were separate was the disagreement over how to split the Igbos' rightful place. Narmer represents the consistency of the people trying to create the natural order, overcoming their enemies, and not the true pharaoh of man per se. The validity of potential DNA tests is an argument. As an argument, are soulless people's bootlicking Illuminati's pittance. Okay, I'm sure you can tell right away I'm right about that. At least the people living in my generation know for sure before, mind control overtakes everyone else, and we can go on, why it's the emergency, urgency, your gene C, right? On record, they have the ability to read minds. Oh, there's this other magazine. Oh, here we go. They even say the mysteries of mind control, the Greek-Roman mysteries. They're going to use this for the Greco-Roman. Zeus is a rapist. Mars is a rapist. Poseidon, rapist. Hades, rapist, right? Rape cult, bitch shit. Craftsman, rape cult, Greco-Roman. Vulcan has faced this bitch shit. Okay? When humans and computers merge, they're saying, look, Popular Science, not a conspiracy theory magazine. They're saying we are going to emerge. We see all the evidence. We see a long history of MK Ultra, COINTELPRO, all kinds of shit. Project Bluebird, Project Artichoke, on and on and on. Okay? It's revealed 15,000 MK Ultra documents. Scottish Rite, Air Force, Army, Navy, all these guys involved in MK Ultra. Over 80 institutions, prisons, psychiatrists, you name it. Okay, moving on. So it's like, there's an overwhelming amount of evidence that if you're a man of honor, you emerge now, or you forever accept that your offspring will be bitch. I mean, it's that simple. You know, even the people who choose their path and have admitted to me, yes, you're right about that. And they even said that they're bitches. They're like, it's because we're bitches and we don't like you to call us bitches and things like this. Anyway, moving on. I'm running out of time. I got to shoot through this. House cleaning, air out the fumes. Why must I explain that Haru is how one follows Ra? Why should I even have to explain that the hero is the true way to serve God? You listen to the hero and not these beta craftsman ninnies and their frat social club pets and their allies. Love, righteous indignation. The followers of Haru know that Ra can only be followed by listening to Haru, the hero. Okay, the O of Ra, or O Ra, the reproductive cycle of Ra. The O is the one way to symbolize Ra is an O with wings, the sun disk with wings. The emphasis must be placed on reproducing in the order of the ideal man. This is best accomplished and perhaps only achieved by emphasizing as a society that the top light temple martial artist is the ideal man. Of course, it ends with me technology and snaking and so on and so forth. The spirit is only maintained this way. If people cannot pick up on that on their own and get in the spirit of sacrificing the desire to survive and for their families to survive, then the survival of human souls depends on their unconditional support of the pharaoh top martial artists. So either way, it depends on that. Okay, and the more they can't pick up on that, the more obvious it depends on that. Whatever worldly philosophy or philosophies that are dominating society in the name of good, God, and are moving in the right direction must be destroyed. So the ones that are dominating society, they're getting in the way. Okay, they must be destroyed. The follower of Haru Ra does not concern himself with worldly, modern, and or contrary knowledge education. The sun spirit, nature, and martial arts show him the way. You know, the sun is a symbol of God, and even the Bible, Psalms, Malachi 4, and so on and so forth. Right? Sunday worship, and the heavens declare the glory of God, and so on and so forth. All right. The understanding of how to decipher the symbols is the spell that is cast for the society that one lives in. Right. So they use linguistics, language barriers, cultural barriers, social, sexual, psychological, racial, and so on and so forth. Mating. God is the sun, martial warrior versus man. Imhotep / Solomon versus Narmer and King David, because Solomon when he went astray. Solomon had become as a result of David's lust. He should have not tried to deceive Bathsheba's rightful husband, Uriah the Hittite. What one can learn from this is that David was not a true martial warrior king or martial arts pharaoh. When he became king, there was no room for this kind of mistake. Right? There's no mind control leading him astray. He's been anointed by God to be king. Now you make minor mistakes at best. You don't make this kind of mistake. And this is part of why the Bible is by ball. This leaves room for the traitor Jews to argue that it's okay for them to do these sorts of things. Right. And his lack of, same with the story of Jacob and Esau, and his lack of a martial arts nature is what caused him to let his worldly desires interfere with God's plan. The shot that killed Goliath is symbolic of a lack of martial arts grace from a soon-to-be king who was nowhere near as divine as Narmer. Why didn't he kill him with his staff? Why didn't he kill him hand-to-hand combat? You know, so this also allows the traitor Jews to make a despicable argument, and it's by ball, and it favors the ballless, and it screens out people like me at a certain rate. That's the expected response, effect of the Bible. Okay. Of course, it was given to you by the people who killed Jesus, and they were persecuted Christians on record for a long time. You can do the math. Okay, where was I? He struggled to achieve this grace for the rest of his life. Jacob had impressed God partially because he was not a great warrior, but he comes from a people that deals with people effectively. Cush represents the mightiest warrior line. Of course, he was wrestling with God spiritually, not literally. Cush represents the mightiest warrior line, and it is a black African group. With this in mind, Jacob had overcome the spiritual obstacles meant for top martial artists. Man has the potential to overcome the obstacles between him and God, and he will not... Okay. I gotta shoot through that in 1 minute. Light explanations do not give the wicked the true power of life or the keys to heaven. Haru, the last pharaoh. I did not see in mankind the ability to beat me or to reproduce someone similar to me. Let us think about horse breeding, gene expression, dog breeding, and works. Did not my parents name which son it would be as a baby? They named me Chuku Emeka as a baby, the namesake. Did not they breed an award-winning Arabian horse? The ability to see the future of life as it pertains to reproduction and warfare is a transferable skill from martial arts sparring. The prophet, pro-pet, okay, versus rape-at, or rape-e, for E-vi-L, effeminate and masculine. You know, E is the Sumerian temple, void of the spirit of God, thinking with a dick. Okay, literally it's a symbol for the temple. Has the hawk or falcon and the leopard as his pets, right? The pro-pets, the martial arts spiritual animals, the pharaoh animals. The Horus is the archetype of pharaoh. The hero loses favor in darkness because of association with sex, reproduction, and fertility. If the top light temple martial arts is not seen as the ideal man for the right reasons, the hero becomes obsolete. The pharaoh becomes intensely violated, and to strike without care of the consequences becomes the sacred duty of the light.